Okay, so next topic is a yeast or yeast infection, right?
Yeah.
It's really common in women, and I see that really regularly. So what's going on with that?
Yeah.
So yeast is a broad name that covers hundreds of different strains. And the most common one that I see is Candida. So Candida is a type of yeast. So Candida lives in our gut. Okay, and there's different ways to get Candida. So you typically get Candida from birth. Okay, if you got a C-section, for example, you have a higher risk of getting yeast. It could be coming from your mom.
Oh, you get it from your mom, yeah.
From your mom. You can get it from antibiotics, meaning that when you take antibiotics, a side effect of it is yeast. Medications, like the pill, the birth control pill, one of the side effects of it is yeast. Antidepressants, painkillers, all those can actually promote yeast overgrowth in your gut.
Yeah.
Your gut has 4 components. You have a bacterial component, you have a viral component, you have a yeast component, and a parasite component. So when you take these medications, or you eat sugar, or eat bread products, for example, yeast products.
What about red wine?
Red wine can promote yeast as well. You have this imbalance. Okay, so all those 4 pathogens should be in balance in your gut.
Yeah.
There's some yeast, there's some parasite, there's some bacteria, and some virus. But when you have too much yeast, you have this imbalance going on. So not enough good bacteria, not enough good viruses, not enough good bacteria, parasites. Sometimes it's too much parasite.
Yeah.
You have this confusion going on in your gut. That when that happens, one is the side effect of it in woman, the yeast will come out through the vaginal area.
Yeah.
You have a yeast infection.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeast infection comes from your gut. So the goal is to address the gut. And medical doctors typically will give you antibiotics or different medication to help treat infection, but it usually comes back because you never got at the root cause of the gut. Okay, our goal is to fix this gut, and as a side benefit, you don't have yeast infections anymore.
So like a good probiotic?
A good probiotic is really important. Cut out the sugar. Oregano is really important as well.
Oh, really?
Okay. Oregano is an anti-candida, so you can fight it. Yeah.
Oh,
okay. You can despise exactly, and you can take it as oil. Okay, it's really powerful for yeast.
Okay, and then yogurt. If you're a dairy person.
Correct.
Well, actually now they have non-dairy yogurts too.
They do. Everything that is probiotics like that, fermented foods like kimchi, sauerkraut, kombucha, kefir, all those are fermented probiotics, amazing for the yeast, for the gut.
A lot of times if you go to a regular doctor, they will tell you to eat a little bit of yogurt every day if you do take antibiotics.
Correct, correct. And the other factor we need to talk about when it comes to yeast infection is pH. Okay, that's another issue I see as well, is when the pH of the tissues is acidic, the yeast loves it. It thrives in acidic body.
Okay.
Okay, and sugar is one of the main drivers of low pH.
Now, is it true or is it a myth? They say that if you go to the gym and you sweat a lot, and if you don't immediately change your clothes, not that you get a yeast infection from it, or can you? Or is it just that they like that environment?
They like it. You don't get yeast infection from that. You just get it. It's humid, it's hot, and the yeast will thrive in that.
But do we always have some yeast in our body?
There's good yeast and bad yeast.
So just everybody has yeast, it's just that the bad multiplies and take over.
Correct. And the goal is to get rid of it, allowing the good yeast to proliferate and grow in the gut.
Okay. Now, leaky gut syndrome, has that got to do with yeast too?
It does have a lot to do with that. More than 90% of people, I believe, that I see with leaky gut, the issue is it's yeast. Because yeast, like I said, leads to this imbalance in the gut flora, and it leads to those holes in the gut. And then you have leaky gut and then autoimmune problems and so on and so on.
So what is a holistic approach on if you get a yeast infection? You know, you can go to CVS, Walgreens, whatever, and they have these suppositories or cream. Is that something, or is there something else that they can take? That is okay. This is in acute situation. You can do that to get rid of it, but at the end of the day, you have to address the gut. Yeah.
That means your gut is not happy. It's not healthy, and you have to fix it.
Right.
With a good diet, and a good diet is a good 80-90% of your calories should be coming from fat to help killing the yeast.
Oh, fat kills yeast. Who knew?
Like coconut oil is an anti-yeast.
Really?
Okay. So that's a natural way to get rid of it. With oregano, like we talked about, garlic is amazing for yeast. Again, it's an old remedy.
Wow. Okay.
Okay.
That's good to know.
Yeah. Okay. So you have to look at your diet, sugar, have more fat, and rebalance your pH.
Yeah.